Hi, nobodies. So this morning I said today was going to be a good day. I did my best. Um, have there been rough parts? Yeah, there's been rough times in the day, but I figured out some things about myself and then figured out a way to make myself feel better. A lot of times I will write down stories. I'll make up stories. Now, normally the stories are, just something I just completely make up. Um, Today I was feeling kind of feisty, and I was doing something to perk myself up. And in the middle of that, I was sitting there thinking, okay, these thoughts you're thinking, um, those are not your typical thoughts. And I was thinking, like, hey, my friend Patrick wants a story. And, you know, I was like, I could write a story around those thoughts that I just had. Oh, it was a bad story. It was so bad. So bad. Because I took every bit of anger, um, spite, and I am definitely feeling. Um, I think, I gave one of my other friends like both barrels on. He is sitting in jail because his ex was fucking around on him. Now, he reacted badly. There's a price to pay for that reaction. But if she would have been a grown ass woman and just said, hey, I'm not happy, I found somebody else, I'm gone, you know, that's better than showing up in your house and finding some dude fucking your chick, right? So he's going to be up for getting out like in August, right? So he's asking me, he's like, well, hey, I'm being told that she wants to work things out. Well, the kind of day I'm having, I was like, no, fuck that. I was like, okay, here, dude, you know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say what I always say, but today you're gonna get extra. I said, hell to the motherfucking no. Don't take that ratchet hoe back. I said, where the fuck has she been for 3 years while you've sat in jail? How many times has she wrote you? How many times has she sent you pictures of the kids? Because he's all like, well, I should probably be with her because of the kids. No, fuck that. You can be a great dad without being with that bitch. I mean, I'm sorry. She fucked around on you. You got surprised. You beat somebody down and you're sitting in jail and the bitch can't be bothered with you until you're about to come out. I was like, dude, she just wants you to take care of her. I gave him both barrels. I mean, I was actually a lot bitchier about it. I was like, don't do it. Do not do it. Do not settle for that. Don't do it. It's always so much easier to give people advice, and the way I'm feeling today, I'm just like in an extra. Oh, I did way too much thinking today, and it wasn't bad thinking. I actually figured out, because I was trying to figure out what my addiction is. I've been trying to figure that out. Because I figured, when I went to I think I went to one, no, two NA meetings, and I've been to like 2 or 3 AA meetings. And I started reading the literature, and I started trying to do some of the steps. But I was struggling because I was like, what is my addiction? Well, today I figured it out. it's not that I have an addiction. It's that when I hit any kind of imbalance, my balance is very important. The amount of stress that I take on and the amount of time I have to take to de stress. Because if I put too much on my plate, I get anxiety, I get depressed. And when I get depressed or anxious, my coping mechanisms are to do things I should not do. I engage in self destructive behavior. I do things that I should not do. Do I do things that are morally reprehensible at that time? No, not really. I mean, I overspend. I want to drink. I want to do drugs. I want to pop pills. You know, and I was pretty proud of myself the other night when I was around some people. There was weed, there was alcohol. I was offered the alcohol, and I really thought about taking it. But one, I was around my kids, and two, I was like, that's not gonna fix anything. It just delays me dealing with what I need to deal with, which is that if I am not kept in balance, then I'm going to behave badly. Uh, Doing drugs, drinking, spending money on frivolous things, those are not the problem, those are symptoms of the problem. And the problem is that I have to have balance, or I have to learn other ways to cope with those things. I also had time to think about priorities and how I've been told my priorities are wrong. My priorities, for the most part, is to be there for the people I love, how they need me to be there. Now, I left. And some people would say, well, gee, you know, that's not right. You shouldn't have left. These people need you. These people have a hell of a support system. I was going where I didn't feel like that person had a support system. And I wanted to be there for them. That was my priority. That is my priority. To be the calm. To be that person that they know is going to say, hey, you know, it's not that bad. Come on. Don't doubt yourself, you know. Like, I am there to help you through that difficult shit. Or at least I try to. You know, I mean, it's not my fault if I don't break through. I try. And that's more than some people do. So, you know, some people, their priority is their career. Their priority is making money. Their priority is feeling good. You know, I mean, and who am I to say that their priorities are wrong? You know, there's nothing that says family has to be your priority. I mean, if you've got kids, kids need to be your priority. That's no doubt about that. But when it comes to family, even family I don't like, I was there for them. You know, I had my issues with my mother, but if she needed me, I was there. I was there when my dad wasn't. Even though I did not want to be, even though I had kids, household to run, I was there for her. Even though I could have listed a million times she was not there for me, that she did not have my back. But that is who I am. This is somebody who I'm supposed to take care of. This is somebody who in some way loves me, and in some way I love them. And that was the right thing to do, you know? And part of me felt like, hey, I'm doing more for her than she's ever done for me. You know, I'm doing more for her than anybody else. So part of me, considered that a feather in my cap. It fucking destroyed me. I was so fucking tired that when she died, I just felt immense relief and sadness. Not because she was dead, but because I was the only one there. All these people that she thought were so important, all these people she thought gave a shit about her, couldn't be bothered to show up. And her daughter, who pretty much despised her, was there. And I was nice to her. I treated her with dignity and kindness. Now at times, because I thought she had dementia, there were times I talked to her like a child, and I feel bad about that, even though she would say shit to me like I was the reason why she got an abortion. She would tell a 5-year-old, you killed the cat, when the cat was already dying. And according to a family friend, my mom probably gave the cat a pill that killed the cat. But that's neither here nor there. The thing is I show up. When I was up in Ohio, if one of my kids would have been in an accident or needed surgery, I would have shown up. But at the time, I felt like where I was at, I was more needed than where I came from. I also felt like, hey, it's time for me to have something that's mine, that is just mine, like my escape. Everybody's got their place to go. Where's mine? So it was kind of like that was mine. Priorities are rarely wrong. I mean, if your priority is drugs, yeah, that's a problem. If your priorities are about getting fucked up all the time, you have a problem, and I'm gonna say that your priorities are pretty jacked. Your priorities should be geared towards the betterment of yourself or those around you. Typically. But you also have to look at, what is the point of this priority? Oh, Polly's doing something he's not supposed to. Polly! Psst! Quit it! I have a feeling he's attacking the shower curtain. Bastard. So, some might look at my priorities as, like you need a career, you need this, you need that. I have to take care of my sanity. If I don't take care of my stress levels, if I don't take care of the balance, I can't be there for the people who need me. When I am imbalanced, before I left my last relationship, I couldn't take my kids to the doctor. I couldn't go to a school function. I was in hell. If I chose to, and they could see it, it was visible that I was miserable. I couldn't be depended upon to do anything. This is why the balance is important, because I have to be able to be there for those things when they really need me. You know, I have to be there. Because if I can't be, I feel shitty about myself that this is your one job, Anne. Be there. Show up. Be solid. Be the backbone when you have to be, you know? Give the advice. Walk them through it. Help them through it. Talk them through it, you know? That is my purpose. And that is my priority. So, not having a career, I never wanted one. I just wanted to be a better person. And some might feel like that's wasted. But when you think about it, if you touch everybody that you meet, you know, if everybody that you meet says, she was there for me, she did this for me, she did that for me, and granted, not all of them are going to see that. A lot of people are not going to recognize what you've done for them. They're just not. That's just not in them. And that's okay. But if I show up and I'm solid for 15 people, at least one of them is going to show up when my kid calls them and says, hey, Mom's going to die. And it'd be really great if she saw you before she died. You know, this would be the last time you can speak to her. And to have at least one person show up, then I know I've done better than my mother. I know that I didn't waste my life. If I was in the pursuit of money and couldn't be bothered to show up, or if I made a big deal about it, like, I got all this stuff going on, but I showed up, you know, I can't say that those people would, you know, my kids would say, well, she was always working, she was always busy, you know, I wanted to do this and this, but she couldn't do it for me because she had to work. She could have taken a day off, you know, because I've seen that. I've seen kids whose parents worked, you know, their parents worked because, whether it was because that was a priority or if the priority was for their kids to have more than they had, it doesn't matter, you know, but their kids are like, my parents were never there for me. They were always working. They were, you know, so why make that your priority? Why not go a different direction? If you hate them so much or if you resent that, and you can't really resent that because you don't know their reasons behind it. If their reasons behind being gone all the time was because they didn't want to spend time with you, by all means judge them for that. If that is their actual reasoning behind, well, I didn't want to be at home with the kids, I didn't like those little bastards, you know. But there's nothing wrong with having that priority. You just have to recognize that some people are going to resent that priority, or they're going to feel like if your priority is like mine, they're going to feel like, well, what are you doing with your life? You could be successful. You could be this and that. I think I'm successful if people love me. That, to me, is success. Success is knowing that if I need a place to stay, I've got a place to stay. I've got more than one place to stay. I have more than one person I can depend upon to help me out in whatever way I need help. I can reach out to these people and cry, and they're going to stand up for me. Would they do that if my priority was career? Some would. Because some people, their priority is family, loyalty, being there, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. My priorities are no more fucked up than somebody who's on the career path, or somebody who's on the my priority is to make the world a better place by going to all these places and helping people have things, you know? If that's what makes your soul feel happy, if it makes you feel fulfilled, if it helps with looking at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day, that's great. But if you feel guilty, or if you feel like there's never any time for you, you might want to adjust your priorities. That, hey, where's me time? But a lot of times people who their priority is making money, me time doesn't really factor into that. That's just how they're wired. That they don't need rest. They feel like they're wasting time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just something that I can't relate to. I have to, given the role that I choose to take on, that I've always chosen to take on, I have to recharge. If I don't recharge, bad things happen. I do things I shouldn't do. I spend money how I shouldn't spend money. I sabotage myself. So, my seemingly lazy lifestyle, just because you don't see me getting shit done doesn't mean I ain't getting shit done. I'm putting out fires all over the place. You know, and some people get aggravated when I play the devil's advocate. It's another part of me that I want everyone around me to consider, just for a moment, a different point of view. Because your point of view is not always right. You know, sometimes people don't mean what you think they mean when they say something or do something or look at you a certain way or whatever. Excuse me. I want people to open up their mind to the possibility that they could be wrong. Because when you're thinking about another person's motivations, their meanings of things, why they do what they do, they don't think like you. You think like some people do. That's a given. You know, there's only so many ways to think. So, yeah, there are going to be people that think just like you, but you can't expect them to. This is something I know very well, that you don't get yourself from people. You get them. You know, it's you are you and I am me. You know, and so one of the things that I really want, I don't do it to be argumentative. I do it to let them think that they could be misreading something, that there could be other explanations, you know, Don't tear yourself up. Don't tear another person up. Don't lose your shit over something that was not intended to be taken the way it was taken. Most people don't want to piss you off. Most people don't want to upset you. Most people don't want to attack you. They don't want conflict. Most people. In most cases. Okay, I guess that's me saying I better go. I've had a decent day. I guess it could fall along lines of good. I got a lot of shit off my chest. I wrote one hell of an entertaining story. And I shared it with a few people who will really appreciate it because he knows the players. Another one, it'll be interesting to see what he figures out about it, because he doesn't know all the players. But he's kind of like Harley Quinn, so he just might figure it out. I mean, he's not stupid. But that's it for me today. I hope that you had a good day. If you didn't, tomorrow is a new day. And just waking up with the right attitude can help you get through a day. You know. So have a good night. Bye.